Hey guys, Brennan here with Gorilla Whips. Just wanted to do a little installation video, give you guys a little bit of input, how to get these installed on your machine. If you're doing it yourself or you have a shop doing it, shop guys, they have a lot more experience doing wiring and stuff, so it should be pretty easy for them, but this can help everybody out. So we are not doing this on a machine, just so I can show everybody where everything is going, and I think it's going to be easier this way to kind of just talk about each section of our system and how it will go on a machine, UTV, Jeep, or any other off-road vehicle. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of start out over here. We have our power source. We have a power source so we can test products, and we just do it in our office, plugged into our outlets here. So what we have is our main power coming out, and we have that going through a switch. So we have a little rocker switch here. Gorilla Whips, we have our own little rocker switches that we sell on our website, but the end of this that we have hooked into our power source here, it'd go on maybe your bus bar, or you can go direct to your battery. On a UTV, there's a bus bar that's in your dash. That's a good place to connect to, just depending on how many accessories you have, though. If you have a lot of other accessories, a lot of other lighting and stuff, and you're gonna end up putting like whips, all of our whips with a bunch of rock lights and glow strips, there's a chance that that bus bar could be overpowered. It could be drawing too much power through that bus bar, so you might want to go direct to battery. It just depends on the situation, but either way, this would be considered your power source. So this cable right here that I'm running comes in our Alpha controller plug and play wiring kit, and that comes over, connects in right where our switch is. So this switch right here would just go right in your dash when you're sitting in by your steering wheel. So this will just connect into there. So this would oftentimes, all this wiring right here would all go in your dash, and that right there would go through your firewall right here where I'm pointing at, go through your firewall and connect into your power source over here, your bus bar. So, but the rest of this stuff, this will come through your firewall, a little hole, and the rest of the stuff right here would be sitting in your dash behind, maybe like where your head unit is if you have like a sound system. But and then this would come in, and this would be your switch, your rocker switch. So this is our controller. It comes with a little fuse. So this all right here would be in your dash. Your controller would be in your dash. And then from your controller, you have, notice your left and right. Now this is our Alpha controller, like I said, with our plug and play wiring harness, and this Alpha controller actually can connect with your street legal kit, your turn signals left and right, and your brake light. So what you'd end up doing is making sure that your right connects to your right whip and your left connects with your left whip. The rest of these that are coming out that don't have a label like that, those are independent. They're not going to be controlled by a turn signal or brake light or anything like that. These are going to be independent. So like your rock lights, that you don't want them flashing amber when you turn left, so you'd send these through this output to not be influenced by your turn signal. So like I said, you have the power from your switch coming in to the controller. Now on this controller, there's a QR code, and that's gonna send you to the app that you need for this Bluetooth of our Alpha controller. So you can just scan that QR code. That'll pull up the app that you need to control this, and then going on that you with these cables, you're gonna want to run these cables. Now what we like to do is run them down the side of your machine underneath the threshold of where your doors are. So like this is the right whip. We have them going this direction over to our whip. So we have a right and left whip coming over, going there. So like I said, we like to, the easiest way that we found is to run from your dash each side of your dash, there's an area kind of that goes down into your wheel well, but like in the plastic of your wheel well and through the threshold of your where your door is, in the plastic down the side of each machine. There's a place that you can zip tie and run the wires down there without having to tear your whole machine apart. So you can definitely run the cables to your whips down that direction. That's a possibility, or you can run it underneath skid plates, or you can run it down the center console area of your machine. Everybody does it a little bit different, so there's no right or wrong way to do it, but those are where the whips go. So we have this already plugged into a turn signal. So you know, there's our right and there's our left turn signal. So we'll come back and talk about that here in just a second. But what we also have on this system, just for demonstration purposes, is this other output that's we're sending down to our amplifier. So this amplifier kind of just sends the same amount of data and power out every channel. So each channel that it has, it sends the same amount of power and data out each channel that it receives from our controller. So it doesn't necessarily amplify the amount of power that goes out, but it just makes sure that each of those channels going out sends out the exact same power that it's receiving from our controller. So it really does amplify because it sends it out to every channel, and you can split this up, the power up for your lighting out each channel, and take advantage of that extra power from each channel and split up all the lighting of your channel. But what we usually do with this amplifier is we usually put that in the center console. So it has a 6-foot cable from our controller, 6-foot cable down to our amplifier. We usually put that in the center console because it's a good mid area of the machine. So if you have it in the middle there, what we can do is just with our new rock lights, we can have another 6 foot off of that to our first rock light. And then our rock lights now have these input and an output. So then you can go from one rock light to the other side of your machine to the other rock light. So these ones would probably be like your rear of your vehicle, from one rock light to the second rock light, both in the rear wheel wells. And then coming out another output, we would go to your front of your machine and do each wheel well that's in the front of the machine. So again, you have your cable over to your one rock light. Coming out of that one rock light, another 6-foot cable going over to the other rock light. So it's a pretty simple setup here. As long as you run the power from your power source right over here to your switch, from your switch to your fuse to your controller, from your truck controller you have your whips, your left and right to your whips, and then your other output, which would go to an amplifier, from your amplifier to your rock lights or glow kit. All set up the same way. If you have a glow kit or rock lights, you just can use these additional outputs to send additional lighting on this amplifier. So it's really easy setup, really easy to install, pretty self-explanatory, plug and play, wiring harness, really easy. Now the thing that can get a little bit more technical is right here we have this setup going to your turn signal kit. So what we have is another switch, and there's various types of switches that come in a street legal kit or a turn signal kit, just depending on, you know, if you have a Jeep, obviously that's built into your Jeep, but if you have a UTV you usually have to buy a street legal kit. It has to be installed, and they have different types of switches. And so what we do is, on this wiring, when you get it, when you receive it, it's going to have labels on it, which one of these cables, which one of these wires goes to your left and your right and your brake light. And there's also a backup. For some of you that have like a backup light, that's possible too. So that's gonna wire straight into your street legal kit. So you just need to find on your street legal kit which of those in here that we're gonna splice into, which of these colors would be your left, which one would be your right, and which one would be your brake light. A lot of times, like on a Razor, your brake light will be, your brake power would be down on your brake pressure switch. So this is a little bit more technical. Every vehicle is different. So either you know what you're doing that way, or you can figure out where your turn signal kit wiring is, and you can connect into the left and right, because you'll see those go into where your indicators are, your light indicators are, and you splice into that and connect these wiring to it. On our kit, it is labeled to where which wire goes to which wire on your kit. So from this wiring kit, it is easy. It does tell you where to connect it to. You just have to have a little bit of knowledge of your street legal kit, and figure out which wires you need to splice into, and maybe on your machine where your brake pressure switch is for the power for your brake lights. So a little bit of technical knowledge that way. I can't show you how it's going to work for every one of them, but currently we have these all set up to work with this switch here. So yeah, this is our alpha controller with our amplifier and our plug and play wiring harness. These are Elite HD LED whips with our Elite HD new rock lights. They're super bright. All of our lighting works together. All of our super glow kit, our silver Xtreme glow kits, our Elite HD rock lights, and our Elite HD LED whips. Same system works with our silver Xtreme, our twisted silver, and our Elite HD LED whips. So hopefully this is helpful, and yeah, thanks for buying Gorilla Whips.